Hi, this is Jason Yeldell with Yeldell Scientific. We are a software company that provides custom software and apps for various industries. And we're going to continue our showcase of custom apps that we have optimized for use on the Microsoft Surface Pro series of tablets. The next app that we wanted to showcase is one that is very useful for personal use as well as for small businesses and sometimes for the enterprise as well. And that's what we call the BudgetSoft Personal Expense and Debt Tracker and Bill Payment History Dashboard. This basically turns your Microsoft Surface into a live dashboard where you can view all of your expenses, your income, and keep track of any spending and actually pay bills via links that you can set up to the various debtors that you have accounts with. So basically it allows you just to use your Surface as a walking personal bill management and expense tracker that's very easy to use, very intuitive, and very fun to use, and very elegant on the Windows Surface machine. And you can download this app from the YeldellScientific.com website, and you can see the link right here. They're just instantly downloaded. It just basically taps into the Surface's ability to read and store, access, and Excel files in the background, and it manipulates the data but then displays it to you in a very pretty and elegant interface that's easy to use and is visually appealing. So if we want to launch that application, let me just go to where I currently already have it installed. It's BudgetSoft, and I'm using a Windows Surface Pro 4 right now, so I can actually just double tap the BudgetSoft application. It will load up the Excel backbone that it uses to perform calculations in the back end. And we can see that, okay, I'm just installing it now. It lets me know that the icon has been installed on my machine, assuming this is the very first time that I'm running it. And then we can set up, how much money does my household or the entity bring in per month. That's how it keeps track of your spending and what you should have in the bank after all bills are paid and things of that nature. So let's say that my household brings in, let's say $10,000 a month, right? So $10,000 a month, and how does that money come in? Let's say that they come in through two different paychecks. I get one paycheck of $6,000 and another paycheck of $4,000. I'm just making something up just for easy demonstration. I can then insert my email address. Let's just do that. And this is where we'll get automatic notifications of any bills that are upcoming or past due or anything that we want to just keep track of, because we can also store this application in Dropbox, in OneDrive, to make it a little bit more collaborative, so that you can have multiple users feeding information and receiving notifications at the same time, all via the Windows Surface. So now I'm going to save this information and add a bill to BudgetSoft. So it's let me know that, okay, I already input that information, and now I have to start adding my bills to this system. So I have an open bill slot at number 1, which we expect because we're just getting started. So now let's just create our first bill. Let's just do something simple. Let's say mortgage. And let's say that my mortgage is $1,900 a month, and it's normally due on the 5th of each month. And let's say I currently owe $200,000 left on that mortgage, and it will keep track of that and deduct every single time I make a payment of $1,900. It'll slowly chip away at that $200,000 number. And let's say I pay my mortgage through Bank of America, right? So let's say bankofamerica.com. We can store that URL for e-payment, and I can put in my user ID and my password. That's optional. And let's store tags for this bill so they can keep track of where our money is going each month. Let's say that this is housing, and then I can pin this to Outlook. This is actually an amazing feature built into the way the tool works, especially great on the Microsoft Surface Pro. So I can tag this bill and pin it to Outlook, so that basically I'll have an automatic recurring task in Microsoft Outlook that says on the 5th of each month, remember to pay the mortgage of $1,900. So let me pin that to Outlook, and it taps in through automation, and now we know we have a new task within Microsoft Outlook that we'll be notified on. And then we can save and then continue, right? So now we have to set up a bank account. We see that that bill has been added. We have mortgage. It's currently not paid yet for January. The amount due is $1,900 on the 5th of the month, and there's our balance, and that's the tag. But now, where's that money going to come from? We have to set up a bank account that we can keep track of. It's basically an expense account that money will be deducted from. But we want it to mirror the real life situation. That's the whole point. So I'm going to tap OK with my finger. Since I'm using a Surface, I can actually do that. And I'll type in, let's say, TD Bank. Right? And let's say that I currently have $4,000 in that checking account. So I can save it. So now I have an account through which I can actually start paying these bills, but you would want to set this up to be more accurate in real life. Let's just set up another bank. Let's see right here. And let's make this one, let's say Acme Bank, just making something up. And let's say I currently have $500 in that account. So now I have $4,500 basically to work with to start paying my bills. In this example, I only have one bill set up, but in reality, you would set up all of your expenses. You take the time to do it that one time so that you can have full access and full control over what goes on every month. So now that that's set up, we can see a few things. We have $4,500 currently in available funds. Our monthly income is normally $10,000 a month. We can see from the widgets at the bottom that our available money is $4,500 and our outstanding bills are $1,900 because we currently have one bill that's not paid. With the expense breakdown widget, we can see where our money goes each month. Right now, we only have one bill set up and it's housing, it's our mortgage. So we can see that graph starting to display. If I had other bills set up, they would all start chipping away and shrink and expand accordingly to their percentage of what the expense is per the monthly income. And also we have a widget here for debt to income ratio. If my income is normally $10,000 a month and my bills are, as of now, $1,900 a month, that's 19% of a debt to income ratio. And you can configure all of these different things in the back end on how you want these widgets to display themselves and what kind of gates or goals you want to set for yourself. So let's just add another bill on the fly, just so we can have more than one to look at. I'm just going to add another one, and let's just call this one car payment. And let's say that my car payment is normally $700 a month. It's kind of hefty. And let's say that that's due on the 10th of the month, and let's say I currently owe $19,000 on that. And I normally pay that bill through, cars.com. I'm just making something up. And my user ID, I don't want to put it in right now, so I can leave it blank. And let's say I'll tag that as auto, and we'll save. So now I have two bills set up within the BudgetSoft application on the Microsoft Surface. We can see that it sort of changed my debt to income ratio a little bit. It's now 26% because I bring in $10,000, but my bills total now $2,600. So pretty much 26%. So it makes the calculation very easy. We can see the breakdown starting to actually grow. We have one for auto and one for housing. And they're sort of the same right now, but if we had additional expenses added. Now, another great thing about this feature is that it actually can work with Dropbox, so that you can set up a cloud storage path that you want to feed data to, so you can have access to it from all of your devices. So I'm going to set that up right now. I'm just going to go to Setup Cloud, and I'm going to tap that with my finger. It's letting me know it would like to have access to and connect with some of my cloud folders. I'll say yes, allow, and now I'm going to browse to a folder that I currently have tracked in Dropbox. Let me just choose that right here, the root folder of Dropbox, and say OK. So now I'm connected to the cloud. I have this application now feeding data to a folder that I know is automatically synced to the cloud via Dropbox. That's a very convenient workaround to have this application basically push data to mobile devices, because it's going to be saving information to a folder that's tracked by cloud storage. So if I wanted to pay a bill now, I can just select mortgage or car payment, but I'll select mortgage and then say make payment. I'm actually tapping right here with my finger. I'm doing that right now. So now it says, okay, the amount due is $1,900. It automatically loads in the URL that I said I would make my e-payment from, which is very convenient. I have access to my username and password if I ever wanted to just reference it and put that information in on the embedded dialog. So now let's say I'm making my payment of $1,900, and I'm going to confirm the payment. And now I can choose where's that money coming from, since I have two accounts currently set up. Let's say that $1,900 is coming out of TD Bank. So I'll select TD Bank and enter. And let's say, this is a test, but you can log any notes about the payment, and I'll just say record my notes. And let's say I'm making this payment on the 2nd, which is today, and I'll confirm. So now we very easily have a payment made that we can keep track of just for our own personal use, or if you're a business and you really want to keep track of these things, you could do that. So now I have one unpaid bill instead of two. And we can see here that I paid the mortgage on January 2nd, a full payment of $1,900, which is great. So now at any time, I can view all of my recent transactions by just clicking on recent transactions, and it will show me any transactions that occurred. I have some dummy transactions that I was playing with earlier. I could also at any given time, once all of my bills are paid, click on start a new month, and it will refresh everything to the next available month. So right now we're in January. If I click start a new month, I'm clicking that now, everything is reset, and I'm now fresh to go for February. And this is a great way to keep track of your bills from month to month. Make sure that everything is taken care of, everything is beautifully displayed, everything is easily intuitive, and it makes the whole process of tracking your bills and expenses, which everyone has to do, it makes it very easy and labor intensive, less labor intensive, especially when you're using it on a tappable tablet or laptop such as the Microsoft Surface Pro.